Hello, my name is Demetrius Harmon. I'm a financial coach on Harmon Financial Coaching. I help my clients with budgeting, saving money, paying off their debt, building wealth, and just increasing their financial literacy as a whole. And when I say help them with budgeting, I mean I actually do my clients' budget for them, which is a great segue for today's topic. The 4 reasons why people do not budget. Before I get started, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps YouTube's algorithm, helps my channel to grow. I really would appreciate it. If you really enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel. It helps my channel to grow as well. Alright, so let's get started. The 4 reasons why people do not budget. Alright, so I'm going to start with the 3 P's. People, perspective, and process, right? And the 4th one is going to be previously failed budgets, but I'll get into that later. So let's get into the 3 P's. Let's start with the people. All right, so one of the reasons why people do not budget is because the people that they have in their lives. I'm going to say this again, the people that they have in their lives. For example, let's say you have, John Doe, and he wants to budget and he really wants to get out of debt, but his wife she's not on board. She's not with it. She's not cutting back on anything. She feels she's deserved things. And sometimes it's the husband as well. It doesn't matter. I'm just using this as an example. They have a people problem. The person in their lives who can directly wreck their budget or directly help the budget be successful. In this case, they're not on board. So the people in this guy's life, John Doe's life, are preventing him from budgeting. So what he does is after a while he'll just quit. He'll try it for a while by himself, and he's not going to be successful. If one person is pushing and the other person is pulling, it's not going to work, right? So the person in his life is preventing him from doing this budget. So as throughout this video, I'm going to give you some tips. When it comes to a budget is more like a crock pot than a microwave. Again, I'm going to say this again. It's more like a crock pot than a microwave. It's a slow burn. It's a slow cooker. So it takes about 90 days to get your budget right. So imagine trying to do something for 90 days. In 90 days, you're going to do 3 budgets, but you're going to go back to the drawing board a few times, in particular if you've never budgeted before in your life. Oh, and by the way, you have someone who is not on board. So every time you ask them to have a budget meeting, they kick, they scream, they show up late, and it just doesn't work. You're trying to drag them along. You're mad, they're annoyed, it's just not going to work. So that's the first one is people. So just to give you a quick tip, if you are working with someone on their budget, maybe it's your mom, maybe you're taking care of your mom, you're paying your mom's bills, which is no problem, right? That's very honorable. Make sure your mom is sitting down at that budget meeting as well, because mom just can't come in and say, hey baby, can you take me here? Can you buy me this? Like, she has to be part of that budget meeting. So I'm just giving you an example. So what that looks like is when someone's not on board, you have to really sit down with them and have a honest conversation and say, hey, this is where I'm trying to go, and explain to them your why. All right, the financial why, I talk about that all the time. That will help them a lot. Explain to them why you want to get on a budget. All right, so again, the first one was people. All right, the second one is perspective. Perspective, all right, that's the second P. The second P can be very tricky because it's subjective. Some people say that they're just fine. So like the old adage goes, good is the enemy of great. A lot of people are doing good, but they could be doing great. So because they're doing good, they don't feel the need to get on a budget. They don't feel the need to look at their numbers, because they don't understand. In their mind, their perspective is totally different from yours. Like, I understand if you don't know your numbers, you can't grow your numbers. But their perspective is different. Their perspective is, well, where we're at right now, we're fine. So they have a nonchalant attitude about it. Meanwhile, you're trying to get them on board because you're saying, hey, you got 2 kids that's going to be going to college in 5 years. You better start figuring this thing out. Or you're paying, $1,200 in car payments, and you could be saving that money. You could be investing that money. How about get on a budget, pay off this car, like that? But they're just fine. So their perspective is wrong. You can't um, make them change, it's going to be really hard because that's their perspective. Some people are, all about their opinion. They're not willing to listen to you. And the crazy thing about life is they think that you're wrong, and you know that they're wrong. And they also think that you are just crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. So you guys are just constantly missing each other. All right. So they say you're wrong, and you're saying that they're wrong, and there's no middle ground. So their perspective is wrong. Maybe they feel like, you know what, we've made it this long without a budget, why would we start now? Yeah, it's a valid question. Well, again, explain to them why. Hey, we're trying to take our life to the next level. We're going to retire in 10 years. We need to get our finance in order, because guess what, if you're doing okay without a budget, but guess what, when you retire, most people, their retirement, in their golden years, they don't make as much money. So if you're struggling managing money at times while you're working, there's no way in the world you're going to be able to figure this thing out when you retire. All right, if you're struggling from time to time managing your money, and you have steady income coming in, imagine what happens when you go on a fixed income. If a guy can't make a layup, what makes me think he can hit a corner three? He can't even make a layup, right? So the budget is a layup. You do the budget every month. It works as long as you stick to it. You got to figure this thing out, so you got to help them with their perspective. All right, so that brings us to our third one. So I mentioned perspective, I mentioned people, and this is perhaps the most important P, which is process. The process of budgeting, they don't know how to do it. The process of budgeting is foreign to them. So you always hear me talk about a zero-based budget. You take all your expenses. You take your income. Let's say it's $5,000. You take your income, and you start at the very top, and you put all your debt, all your bills, all your savings, everything you can possibly think of that you're going to spend for that month, until you get all the way down to zero. That is a zero-based budget. Every single penny has an assignment. There are no random trips to Target, no random purchases from Amazon. Oh, I just bought my 2 favorite books. Were books in the budget? Well, if they weren't in the budget, then you can't do it. So you gotta know how to do a budget. And again, the process is not hard. Zero-based budget. That's what I recommend, because that means every single dollar has a name. The zero sounds bad, but the zero is good. The zero is an indicator that all money has been accounted for. All right? So they don't get the process of budgeting. So of course they're not going to do it. If someone doesn't understand it, they're not going to do it. All right? So sometimes people will come to me and ask about the actual process of a budget. I've helped my clients with their budget all the time, and they have an ideal, and I just kind of have to guide them a little bit. But there are people who do not know how to budget, period. Like it's not even close. They don't know where to start. So again, if you're confused, you're not going to move. You're not going to go anywhere. If someone says, "Hey, how do I get to the mall?" and I go and I say, "Go that way," you're not going to go anywhere, because you're going to be confused. So they don't understand the process. All right. So that brings us to our fourth and final one: previously failed budgets. All right, past failures. All right, whatever term you want to use. This could arguably be the number one reason as well, just depending on who you talk to. When you start to budget your money, in particular, if you're new to this, it's going to take a while. And like I said, it takes about 3 months to get it right, but each time you do it, you're going to get better. But those past failures, everybody deals with failures differently. Me personally, I run towards my failures. Anything that I failed at, I run towards it. Anything that I feel I'm afraid of, I run towards it. I don't let fear beat me. I don't let my past failures beat me. I'm running towards them head on, because I'm going to beat them. I'm too stubborn to quit. I will not quit. I'm like a dog with a bone. I'm going to figure this thing out. I will not quit until I'm done, until I won. So that is me. Not everybody has that same mentality. So their previously failed budgets. I'm not a budget person. It doesn't work for me. It's just, no, I'm not. What they're really saying is, I failed in the past and it hurts and I'm not going to do it again. All right. It's like people saying, I'm not a morning person, but yet they get a job that pays them $120,000 a year and they need them to be to work at 8 o'clock. Oh, somehow they're a morning person now, right? Somehow they're up early. So you can do it. It's just you have to figure out how to push past those failures. That same person can't get up early on a Saturday morning. They can't get up early on a Sunday. But when they have to, they can. You have to figure this out. Do not let your failures beat you. And that goes for anything, not just finances, but anything in life. You failed at it. You made some mistakes. They're not mistakes. They're just lessons. All right. So just to recap, you have the 3 P's, which is people. People in your life are messing up your budget. Perspective. Your perspective is wrong. Maybe you're a little too nonchalant about it. Maybe you feel you don't need it because you're doing good. But we want to be great. And then you also have the process. They don't understand the process of budgeting. And last but certainly not least, you have failed budgets, past failures, right? So they failed at it in the past. It hurts. It's too painful. It didn't work. And they just quit. And they're done. And they go to sleep saying they're not budget people. All right, so those are the top 4 reasons why people do not budget. All right, so let me know in the comment section, which one do you fall under? Maybe you don't know how to do it. Maybe you fall under process. Maybe you're a combination of the both. But they can all be overcome. Again, this is what I help my clients with. I help them with budgeting. I help them get out of debt. These are all the things that I'm available to help you with. Click the link in the description box. You can see my packages I have on my website. All right, so that is my time. Take care. God bless. And remember, change your mindset, grow your money.